want to spend some time talking about kind of the outdoors, getting out into the outdoors for your mental health. I haven't found something that's quite like getting into like real nature, not like a nature trail in your town or some park in the city. I'm talking big country, like that kind of big country. And just getting out in the middle of nowhere. It just grounds you, reminds you that you are part of this thing. I think we as humans, as a race, think we're so goddamn smart because we got our big brains. But the reality of the situation is we're just animals. And we can play cognitive games with ourselves. But we're really just animals, driven off of instincts and emotions. And I believe that animals are just like us, only they don't think. They just react to their instincts and emotions. Yes, I think animals have emotions. And yes, I'm going to go hunt an animal right now. But that's because we've always been hunters. We've always been hunting deer. This is not a new thing. Humans have been predators forever. So, it is what it is. Life eats life. That's the reality of the situation, whether you like it or not. So, before you get on your high horse and tell me I'm a horrible human being, just because you're vegetarian doesn't mean you're saving anything. But back to mental health, that pursuit is something that's ingrained in our DNA. It's ingrained in the neural systems we have in our head. If you go and listen to Andrew Huberman about the dopamine system, the reward system in the brain, and how that works, we are meant to pursue difficult things, and we get rewarded for that pursuit via dopamine. The problem is, most people today are getting cheap dopamine hits on their phone all day. And they get unmotivated and depressed because they run out of dopamine. They're completely emptying out their dopamine system. And they're not doing anything to recharge it. Life is all about moderation. You're supposed to have good times with the bad times. You're supposed to have struggle with easy and rest. You're supposed to have both. You're not supposed to have just lazy and depleting your dopamine system. That's not supposed to be how it works. We didn't evolve that way. We are meant to pursue. And a lot of the outdoor activities I do, I believe I've latched onto because of the dopamine rewards. Because fishing and having a hard time finding fish and then finally figuring it out, that reward makes you feel good. But you have to work for it. If it's easy, then it's not going to be the same. So, that's why I like fly fishing. That's why I like pursuing things that are difficult. And so forth, as well as hunting, as well as bird hunting, as well as deer hunting. Those things are all difficult tasks that require a lot of effort in order to be successful. So, I believe those struggles and something to strive towards is required for our mental health. And without it, we are simply not going to be happy. We will not be content. We will be miserable human beings. We'll be lazy. We'll blame everybody else for our problems and think we're hot shit. Because another thing that hard pursuits do is they humble you. They teach you that, hey, you are not king shit of Turd Island. You can't just sit back and be a keyboard warrior. You actually have to go out and develop the skills you need to be successful. And that requires a lot of practice. And a lot of people don't want to do that. A lot of people just think that you're supposed to be good at stuff right off the get-go, or you're not meant to do it. Well, that's a crock of shit. You're supposed to suck at everything you start to do. You're supposed to suck for a while. You're supposed to fail and make mistakes and learn. That is literally how we evolved to learn, is through mistakes. So, that humbling experience that you have to work hard for every single skill and thing you want that's worth anything is also good for you. You need that in your life. If you're not striving to do something, you're just sitting back and gliding along, or think you can just let off the accelerator because you got to some what you thought would be the pinnacle of your life. You're wrong. You need something for the rest of your life until you fucking die. You cannot coast. Coasting does nothing but bring depression and anxiety. You need to be in action. And that's something that I've struggled with myself. I've struggled with pushing myself, and because I always thought growing up you would just get to a certain point and you'd be done. You could just glide through the rest of your life and you'd be happy. Well, guess what? I got everything I ever wanted and I still wasn't happy. I checked all the boxes and I still wasn't happy. So I've learned through experience that you need something that you're striving for at all times. For yourself, specifically. You need something to strive for yourself. Not for somebody else, not for how other people will think of you because you're doing it. You need to do it because it means something to you. Period. And that, I believe, is our purpose. So, don't get wrapped around the axle on trying to find the right answer for your purpose. You just got to pick one. You just have to decide that this is going to be your purpose. And it can change. But as long as you're striving for something, you don't even have to be 100% successful. That doesn't even matter. The end point of the pursuit is not the important part. The important part is the pursuit. That's the most important part. And you have to learn to love that pursuit. You have to learn that that is the best part of the whole process. Not the beginning, not the end, but all the shit that happens between. And guess what? When you get to the end and you feel like you're successful in whatever pursuit you're going after, you're going to get a little bummed out that it's over. Because you did it. Ta-da! You get your dopamine hit, and then you're going to go back down in dopamine, and then you'll be like, oh, I have no purpose again. Then what do you got to do? You got to pick a new fucking purpose. You always need some kind of pursuit. So, that being said, that's how that ties into mental health.